Dumped at the wedding, she marries a secret CEO. It sounded like the kind of plot you'd read in an over-the-top romance novel, not something that could unfold in the span of a single disastrous afternoon. But for Elena Hart, it was simply the only path left to take, one she hadn't seen coming, one she never imagined she'd choose, and one that would change the course of her life in ways she could barely comprehend. The day had started with soft music, fragrant roses, and a nervous excitement thrumming under her skin. Elena had always pictured something simple for her wedding, a quiet ceremony, a handful of loved ones, and the man she'd devoted years to. Christopher Hale had always promised her forever. He'd promised stability, affection, and a life built side by side. She'd never asked for more. But forever had apparently expired the night before the wedding. She didn't find out until minutes before she was meant to walk down the aisle. The whispers started near the bridesmaids' dressing area, hushed, urgent voices, the kind people exchange when they wished they could stay silent but the truth was too cruel to keep in. "Elena, we didn't know how to tell you." She'd seen the guilt in their eyes before she knew the words. And then she heard them, Christopher caught with another woman. Not months before, not weeks, last night. At first, she thought it had to be a misunderstanding. Nerves made people do strange things, but not things like this. Not when someone had waited years for this commitment. But then she saw the proof, photographs sent anonymously to her maid of honor. A kiss, an embrace, a hotel hallway, a betrayal so sharp it punched the air from her lungs. Her heart splintered, her vision blurred, but even within the storm of disbelief, she felt a cold, sharp clarity. She would not walk down that aisle. She would not beg, cry, or break publicly for a man who'd broken her privately. She left the dressing room silently, still wearing her wedding gown, still holding her bouquet as if it were the only stable thing in the world. Guests turned to her in confusion as she walked through the reception hall. Vendors paused, musicians strained to see what was happening. And then she saw him, Christopher, standing near the altar, pale and panicked, as if worried the scandal would tarnish his reputation more than it had shattered her life. "Elena, please," he began. But she walked past him. And as she did, her eyes caught on another figure in the room, broad-shouldered, quiet, standing near the edge of the hall like a shadow of strength. He was dressed simply, not like the guests, and his posture was alert. Elena recognized him vaguely. Felix Ward, the bodyguard the venue had hired for general security. She'd noticed him earlier only in passing, mostly because he carried an aura that made him seem carved out of steel and calm. And now, in the middle of her collapsing world, his gaze was steady, anchoring. "Elena," he asked softly, as if checking if she needed help. In that single moment of gentleness broke something inside her. She left the hall. She didn't know where she was going, only that she needed to breathe. Felix followed her, not intrusively, just ensuring she didn't faint on the staircase or collapse under the weight of humiliation. When she finally stopped outside beneath the arch of the venue's garden, she exhaled shakily. "I'm fine," she whispered. "You're not," Felix said quietly. And for some reason, she didn't argue. They stood in silence for a long moment, the sounds of guests murmuring behind the walls, confusion spreading like wildfire. Her wedding day, her heartbreak, her humiliation, and the strange safety she felt with a man she knew nothing about. "I can call someone for you," he offered. "Family, a friend." She shook her head. "I don't want anyone else seeing me like this." Felix hesitated. Then he said, "What do you want to do?" It was an innocent question, but it cut deeper than any accusation. What did she want to do? Cry, scream, run, tear off the dress she'd chosen with hope and now wore with shame. What she wanted was control. A choice. Something no one could take from her. Her voice came out strangled but certain. "I won't go back in there. I can't face all of them, not like this." "Then you don't have to," Felix said. "You owe them nothing." The words steadied her, and that was when she said the thing that stunned them both. "I can't leave alone. I can't walk out of my own wedding abandoned. I need," she swallowed, "I need someone beside me, even if it's just for today." She hadn't meant anything irrational. She hadn't meant a proposal. But Felix looked at her, really looked, and something unreadable flickered in his eyes. "What are you asking?" he asked carefully. She laughed brokenly. "I don't know. I just wish I had married someone who actually cared." Felix's expression shifted, softened, deepened. "If you want to leave with dignity," he said, "just say the word. I'll make sure you walk out with your head high." Her next words shocked even herself. Walk out with me, as my husband. Felix stared at her as if the world had tilted. You don't mean that. Maybe I do, she whispered. Maybe the biggest humiliation of his life should be watching me walk away with someone better. Elena, he said, voice low and serious, I don't want to be part of revenge. It's not revenge. Her voice trembled. I don't want to feel alone. Something softened in his features. A breath passed between them, fragile and electric. And then, unbelievably, Felix nodded. If this is truly what you want, I'll stand with you. They walked back inside, not toward Christopher, not toward the guests who gasped and whispered, but toward the officiant. Felix was composed, steady, a fortress she hadn't known she needed. The officiant looked at them in shock. Elena, are you certain? Yes, she said, I'm certain. Christopher stormed forward. What is this? Elena, this is ridiculous. But Felix stepped between them, his presence instantly commanding, his voice cold. Step back. The room stilled, and in a ceremony that was both surreal and strangely peaceful, Elena married the bodyguard. The guests watched in stunned confusion. Christopher sputtered with rage. Elena's heart beat wildly, but she didn't falter. She didn't cry. She didn't collapse. She felt free. After the vows were spoken, Felix gently touched her hand. Let's get you out of here. They left the venue together, walking past reporters, guests, and the man who had betrayed her. And though the moment felt like a fever dream, Felix held her steady every step of the way. Only once they were away from the chaos did Elena finally break down in tears. Felix didn't try to stop her. He simply offered his presence, quiet, warm, protective. I'm sorry, she whispered. You didn't deserve this. You were hurting, he said. I wasn't going to let you go through that alone. They drove in silence for a while, the weight of what had happened settling between them. Finally, Elena asked the question that had been brewing since she first saw the restrained confidence in him. Why did you agree? She asked softly. Felix hesitated. Then he said, because I saw a woman who wasn't being valued. And, because I've spent a long time hiding from people. From expectations. From my own name. She frowned. What do you mean, your name? Felix looked almost amused. Elena, I'm not exactly a bodyguard. Then who are you? He paused. Then, with a small, almost apologetic smile, he said, Felix Ward, CEO of Ward Dynamics. Elena blinked. The name hit her like a shockwave. Ward Dynamics, the conglomerate. One of the wealthiest private corporations in the country. Owned by a family known for power and secrecy. And he was. You're joking, she whispered. I'm not. His voice was gentle. I work security sometimes to stay grounded. To stay invisible. Elena stared at him, stunned into silence. I didn't tell you, Felix said quietly, because today wasn't about me. It was about protecting you. The reality sank in. She hadn't married a simple bodyguard. She had married a man who had the power to shake industries, who had chosen a life in the shadows rather than the spotlight. And he had chosen to stand by her. Why me? She whispered. Felix held her gaze. Because even before today, I noticed you. The way you treat people. The way you care. The way you give your heart so easily, even to someone who didn't deserve it. Her breath caught. You deserved someone who would choose you, he said. So I did. Silence settled between them, soft, warm, transformative. Elena didn't know what their future would look like. She didn't know if this marriage would become love or remain an unusual twist of fate. But for the first time in a long time, she felt something close to hope. Dumped at the wedding, she had married a secret CEO. And somehow, impossibly, it felt like the beginning rather than the end.